Okay, so right. Okay, so we can see this board very empty at the moment. Okay, right. So we talked about epics, features. You know what? I even wanted to ask us some questions, but in fact, I've answered 100 questions. So let's even leave because I wanted to ask us just to confirm our understanding of user stories. But I think what we'll do is I'll ask the questions as we're doing this. So we'll come up with epics and user stories, and then we'll see. Maybe not. So I don't know. Let's see how it goes. I'll play by ear. Okay. So we've talked about epics, features, and user stories, right? I want to show us how we populate it. So this will already have been set up by your wonderful Scrum Master, also known as SM, right? So you come on the board. So you can see, so the prep major blog showing here is the name of the project, right? So for you, it will be probably alpha, delta, beta, alpha, no, beta is before that. Alpha, beta, delta, whatever, epsilon and zeta and all that, right? So you have your project name there. So you can see the overview. Let me just show you a bit of this. So yeah, overview about the project, blah, blah. So all these are stuff that would already be put in. And you have a summary, you have your dashboard, you have, so that this is when you have access to it, right? You'll be able to get on here. And you have your boards. So on my dashboard, on my blog, okay. And you have your wiki. Your wiki is where you can store like your documents, right? So things like when you have like your definition of ready, your definition of done, you come and save it here, you know, so that because you want that transparency, right? The Scrum team, you have to ensure that anybody can access whatever you have put on. Okay. Oh, I didn't want you to see that. Okay. So, all right. Okay, I can actually show you that. So this is how it will eventually be like. Okay, so you can see this approved column, right? This one here. So this it will probably be when you've already gotten your story approved. So you see the new one. So when you create your story, you first put it here, and then in fact there are lots of columns here. Not so a lot of times. I mean, you don't even need like this one. So you probably move it to the in business in BA, and then when you've finished with it, you put it in done, and then when the PO has approved it, you move it to approved, you know, and then during sprint planning, when you've agreed and put story points, you've committed. Okay, so let me backtrack and we'll start from scratch. Okay, so going back to the other story, bear with me 1 second. I need to open the other one to get the story back up. So what was the story? I need the epic and the epic and the features and all that. Just a second. So we're going to create the epic, the feature, you know, the user stories. Okay, so that we have an understanding of. So and that. Okay, and take this there. Right, cool. Yeah, okay, that's exactly where I want it. All right, so you can you see where my cursor is? It's on the top right hand side. It's showing backlog items, right? So let's just change that to epic. So you see the way it's been set up, you can see epics, features, and backlog items. All this will be set by your Scrum Master. So let's go to epic. So it's empty, right? Okay. Now, the epic we said was landing page, right? In fact, if somebody can, anyway, just don't bother. The epic was landing page, and underneath that epic, we had a feature. One of them was the header menu, and underneath that feature, we had 3 features: header menu, main body, and footer menu, right? And underneath the feature, we had logo, home button, ability to register, ability to log in, and all that. If we remember, I did share that with us. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create your story. So you can actually, all right, so you can actually come here and click on new work item. Please let's take note of that. So you can do that. You see there's new work item here. There's new work item here. Whichever you click, it will take you to the same place. So if I click on new work item, you see that immediately you can see the epic. So the epic sign is this crown. Depending on what application you're using, it might be different. So Jira is another application you can use for Scrum Agile, right? But we're using Azure here, right? So this is the symbol, that crown there. So what am I going to do? I'm going to type in landing page. It's my landing page. And of course, the only button here is add to bottom, right? Because there's only one. Right, did we take note of that? So what I did was I clicked on new work item and there was this epic spacebar, and then I typed in what I wanted and clicked on add to bottom. Did we get that? Okay. Now we've done the epic, but we know that we can't work on this on its own. We need user stories, right? So if you go to the extreme left of the epic and click on that, can you see what just happened? I'm just hovering over it, right? I haven't even clicked on it. It's showing add feature, right? We can see that. I know we can see that. Now click on the plus there. What's gonna happen? And it's showing us the feature. We'll come here. One of the features was a header menu, right? Header menu, header menu. Okay. Save and close. Let's see what happens. Can you see what has happened? So it's underneath the feature. Can you remember when I was talking about the definition of ready, saying that no, I don't even know if it was there I said it, but I mentioned that every story must be tied to an epic. It's good practice. You should not have like straddlers or stories are just on their own. They should all be, linked to features and epics. That is industry standard, best practice, right? So you see that feature is under the epic. Now, in the same way, we know that the epic was broken down into one feature. In fact, let's add all the features, right? So we'll go back here. The second feature was what? Main body, or yeah, let's say main body. We save and close again. And what's happened? You see the second one, right? Go back to the epic, add another one because we had 3. Come here, footer menu. Save and close. Okay, now I've left them empty, but you really should be writing something, just a brief, like design header. Okay, let's just say just a short description, because this is not where you're doing the main work, right? Design the, let's say, different functionality. Different functionalities of the on the header menu. That should do. I'm not doing, because I'm not doing any acceptance criteria there. Okay, I'm going to leave the others blank, but that was just to show you an example. Now we've divided that, or we've broken down that epic into three features. Okay, so we have the landing page, a header menu, so all these make up the landing page, right? Now we remember that we broke down this header menu into different stories. So in the same way, remember, to create the feature, we came here and clicked on the plus sign, remember? So you guessed right, you come here again and click to get, so can you see that you've got 2 options, product backlog item and bug. Can we also remember that I mentioned that the user story can also be called your product backlog item? We remember, right? Yes, I know, remember. So yeah, this is also a bug because when the testers do their tests and all that, if there's any problem, they will raise a bug. So this one isn't really of any concern to us just now. Like as BAs, we're not the ones that should be raising bugs. It's the testers that raise bugs, okay? So Here it's called a product backlog item. It's not called a user story, but that is exactly what a user story is. It's just what it's called here. So you click on that. Guess what? We go back to this page. Now, what was this one? Okay, so we now test. So this one, like logo visible on landing page. But you know what? Let's do the ability to, what was that one? Ability to log in, right? Because I don't want to take too much time explaining this. There's no point writing all the stories, when I can just show you one or two. So ability to log in, because we've done some work on that before, isn't it? So if you were to save and close, what will happen? You see it underneath. Are you saying, so this is how a nice board should look like? Your epic, your feature, your product backlog. Hold on, I'll show you something. If you come back here, you see this backlog here, analytics, new work item. That was where we clicked to start creating all this, isn't it? If you click on view as board, let's click on it and see what happens. Now, you can see this epic, right? Do you know why you're seeing the epic only? It's because the display here is showing us what's epic. Can you see that? If we say features, for example, that's going to change. So we're going to see all the features, right? If we say backlog, that will be one because it's only one we've created, isn't it? Oh, okay, no, it's not one because I've created some in the past. But let's go look for the one that, yeah, I've created some in the past to show examples. But let's go look for that one. Can you find it? Can you see here? It's right at the bottom. It's right at the bottom. If I want to move it to the top, I think I can click on that and say, can I move to the top? No. Okay, no, that's in Jira. Okay, that's fine. So let's go back to the epics where we were before, and let's view as backlog. So you can view as backlog or view as board. Take note, okay? I like viewing. It depends on what you're looking for, So if you were to view as backlog, it will take you to this list, okay? And then you can now drill down to get everything that was there before. Can you see that? Let me take it back up and do it again so you can see. So because it's showing us epics, it will only show you the epic initially. So you have to drill down and drill down again, okay, to see everything. So now we've created, in fact, can I stop and confirm that we are following so far? Can one or two people let me know that we understand what I've done so far? Just unmute. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. That's good.
Yes, we're on track.
All right. Cool. B is a hot. Okay, so this is where we are just now, right? So now we're going to show you now how to fill in this user story, because this is it. This is the user story that everything starts and stops with. So you can see it's got different. So it's already giving it a number. Okay, that will, any platform you use, it will generate a number automatically for you. So because there have been 1,012, I don't know. That's the number anyway, and that's the title. So if you now thought to yourself, I don't like the name, you can come in, change it, right? That's fine. So that's the title, the user story. It's showing that it's in the new state. Okay, all this stuff. It's just how it's been configured by the Scrum Master. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that. And it's saying what's new. Why is it in new state? New, because it's a new backlog item. Okay. Now we're going to come to the description. So please note, you put your user story under the description. Okay. Put your user story under the description. I feel like I should just go and copy them and put, so that my hand will not pay me. So let me go and look at that story. Let's do it from scratch. Next page. Register. Just a second. I'm just trying to get to where I had everything, the user story and the acceptance criteria. Okay, so back here. So our user story is okay, before I put this user story down, can people I just want maybe 2 or 3 people to give me examples of user stories. Like, or no, I'll give you like a project title or whatever, and then I'll let you. So can you give me a user story, for example, for cooking jollof rice? Don't even laugh, it's serious, because I'm trying to break it down to as simple as we can. So the format is as a I want to, so that. So cooking jollof rice, what would be the user story? Can anybody go for it?
I want jollof rice for 100 people.
No, start again. So remember our format as a I want to, so that. Okay, so start again. As a
celebrant.
I want to.
I want to have a meal for. I want to have a party.
Okay, you want to have a party. All right. Remember
I
our
want to have a birthday party.
Okay, let's finish it and then I'll tell you something. Okay, I want to have a birthday. So as a celebrant, I want to have a birthday party so that. And do you see where the thing has fallen short now? Because what I said was jollof rice. So yeah.
Can I try?
Okay.
Chef.
So let somebody else try. Who was
Can
that?
I try?
Oh, who said that? I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a professional chef.
Sorry, who said that, please?
As a professional chef.
Okay, you know what we can do? Sorry, because it's hard for me to even see. Sorry. Some hands are raised. I think we should go with the hands being. Sorry. I will do 2 or 3 scenarios just to give people the opportunity, because Babajide had raised his hand up. T Mohammed, there are people that raised their hands up. So I'll just give. But who was talking anyway? After who first talked?
It was myself. Booking.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, Booking, go for it. So jollof rice
as a content creator.
Okay.
I want to cook jollof rice.
Yes.
So that my followers can learn.
Okay. So you see, that's another aspect to it. So the approach that she's used now is that she's probably on Instagram and she's creating content so she's probably like a chef, with a following on Instagram. So as a content creator, I want to, but the way I would word it, maybe you want to cook jollof rice and post the pictures or the process, something like
video.
That. I want to cook jollof rice and post the video so that. What was the so that again? I can't remember.
So that my followers can learn.
So that my viewers can learn, or so that my followers can learn. Yeah, thank you. So that's spot on. So this was a user story for jollof rice, and it could have gone anyway. But so she has done it in a clever way, in the sense that she's not just so she's not a celebrant. There's a celebrant story. We'll come to that, but she is saying it from the angle of a content creator. So do we see how important specifying the user is? So it's not just as a user or as a cook. So one person said as a celebrant. Okay, so we've done one story now. As a content creator, I want to cook jollof rice and post the video so that my followers can learn. That's a perfect user story. It's simple enough. Everybody can understand. So we know who the user is, what the person wants to do, and why, the value that will be added. That's spot on. Okay, so the next one. Sorry, I'm struggling to see the names because I have so many screens open here. So jollof rice now, but let's try and correct the story that the original, the other story that we said. So as a celebrant, or anyway, jollof rice is open. Who was unmuted just now? Sorry, I didn't see your. Okay, so I've got a list in front of me. So let's do it that way. I think that will work better. Let me take this one to this side. Okay, so I've got a list of hands up. So T, do you want to go for it? Do you want to try jollof rice?
Okay, so as an event planner, I want my jollof rice to be made with basmati rice.
Okay.
That's my client is very pleased with it. Will be very pleased with it.
Okay, so we're assuming that your client has already said, please don't give me ekpoma rice. Don't give me, don't just give me long rice. I want basmati rice. So the client has been very specific, right? So thank you. So that's another clear one. And Babajide, jollof rice, or should we move to another? I'm actually enjoying the jollof rice.
Yes, I would say, as a registered chef on the app, I would like to make jollof rice
Yes.
using the approved gas cooker
Okay.
to teach
So
my
that
clients.
so that
To teach my clients how to cook.
no. You know you will not say to teach. You
Okay.
so that
So that my clients can appreciate the gas cooker's potency.
or how can you word that better? So that I can
Effectiveness.
so that I can
So that-
improve my client's effectiveness, or I can teach my client how to use that. Is it the gas cooker? Something.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So now all the stories will not be so that I can, right? But it just helps you to word it better and makes it easier. Okay. So I'm not giving us any expo again. Jollof rice story is over. We are now going to do as a okay. Let's say somebody, how will I put it now? Not jollof. Okay. Turning on the heating. Turning on the heating. So we have Babajide just answered. So Mohammed, turning on the heating as a I want to, so that what do you think? You can make it whatever you want.
I think with mine, I would say as a mama put restaurant.
You're doing jollof rice. I said we're not doing jollof rice again.
Oh, we'll move on from jollof rice.
Okay, let me let you do that one because I like the sound of mama food. So
okay. As a mama put restaurant customer,
okay,
I want a jollof rice made with dodo gizzard.
Okay.
For my birthday lunch.
So that do you see that you've bunched too many things in the second line, so it might be difficult to add that value line. So how do we change it? So as a, what do you say? As a mama put customer, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, I want
a jollof rice for my birthday lunch.
So that
I'm not getting that second line.
So no, there's nothing wrong with what's happening just now.
So that you can impress your friends.
So that I can impress my because you said you want jollof rice with dodo gizzard.
So that I can impress my guests.
Do you get? So thank you. So you see how you got stuck and you're thinking about it. That is exactly how you have to read that. So maybe like, I can word it differently, or okay, split that first one into 2 lines. Okay, I'm just getting us to do this so that we can practice, and so that when we're going back to the PO, they will not pursue us. Okay, so and that was Mohammed. Please, the hands are getting too plenty. We're not doing jollof rice again, by the way. So okay, so Daisy, turning on the heating. What can you do with that? Just play around with it. Daisy, your hand is up, or okay. I can't hear you. Rose, can you go for it?
Sorry. Yes.
Okay. So who is speaking just now?
Rose.
Okay, Rose, go for it, and then Daisy. Okay.
As a tenant, I want to be able to turn on. I want to be able to turn on the heating so that I won't freeze to death.
Indeed. Thank you. It's only people that are alive that can do the work of a BA. Okay, thank you. We don't want to freeze to death. Who's going next? Daisy, yeah? Turning on the heating.
As a single handicap, I want to be able to turn on the heat when it's cold, so don't call my neighbor.
Okay, that is another. I like that angle. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you. So we've got Wumi, Olu, and there are more hands. Please, we have to populate this board. Okay, I think I'll just take 3 and then we move on because I want to show you how to write it on the board. But I just wanted I wanted to confirm that we know, we get the whole gist of these stories. Maybe I would ask the last people, assistant secretary, and then maybe the hands will go down. Okay. One more. Wumi, do you want to go for turning on the heating?
Yeah, thanks. Okay. So as a plumbing engineer,
okay,
I want to customize my website with instructions so that my clients will know how to turn on the heating.
All right, you see, do you see that one? I just said one phrase and it can mean so many different things. It can mean different things to different people. So somebody wanted to do it on their own, without involving the neighbor. Another person wanted to put instructions so that clients can know how to turn it on. Another person wanted to turn on the heating as a tenant so that they don't freeze to death. Can we see how? And that's why the user story is important, because I just said turning on the heating, but this adds context to it, because the requirement of the tenant is different from the person that wants to be able to access it, without calling their neighbor. It's different to the requirement for the person that wants to make that information available for clients. So do we see how important the user story is? Let's move to the acceptance criteria and see what, let me give us, if I say jollof rice, the steps, everybody cooks their jollof rice in different ways. We might be healthy tomorrow, and then we might have a, let me not go there. Okay, I'm looking for something that will be simple enough. But it might be tricky because I don't think we have enough time for. So Olu and Tola, let's do the turning on the heater, and then we'll just go to the board, okay? So turning on the heater, Olu.
Yeah, as a landlord, I want to develop a guide so that my tenant will be able to turn the heating on.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And so that was Olu, right?
Yes.
And then Tola, thank you. That was fine. Thank you. That's another angle as a landlord. Okay. Tola, the hands are going. Okay.
Yes. So as a G energy staff,
okay.
I would like to turn on your heating.
No, don't say I would like to, please. Oh. Let's follow the format. I say I want to. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a G energy staff, I want to turn on your heating so I can dictate where the fault is.
Okay, so yeah, like coming to do repairs or something.
Yes, everything. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, cool. So 2 more people, Tosin and Tolulope. So Tosin, go for it. Turning on the heating. We can't hear you. You are actually unmuted, but we can't hear you. Right. While Tosin is trying to get us sorted, the last person I think we said was Tolulope. Adjola, you put your hands up now. I can see you too. We're moving on. Tolulope, please. Do you want to?
Please now.
Yes.
Okay, last person, Adjola, so that they will say I'm a wicked person. Okay. Tolulope, do you want to go for it?
As a tenant, I want my landlord to install a smart boiler so that I can turn on the heating at my own convenience.
Wow. Okay. You see that we've talked about 2 tenants, but they have different needs. So you see how we can have. So imagine if you were writing these user stories for like a block of flats or something. There will be different tenant needs. Can you see how we already have different user stories? So even for the tenant, we already just turning on the heating. We'll write one requirement for the servicing person. Write one for someone that needs access. We'll write one for someone that maybe the landlords. Write one for. They're different. Different scenarios. Okay, I think Adjola, you're the last person before we go back to the board. Okay. Go for it.
As a mother, I want to turn off the heating, turn on the heating, so my baby does not freeze to death.
Okay. This freezing to death. Okay. No, it's perfect. I'm just this death about just calling it.
So my baby is
so that my baby can be comfortable. So that my baby can. So let's do the positive side. So that my baby can be comfortable. How about that?
Yeah, I just said that now.
Yeah, okay. So that my baby can be comfortable. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm actually quite pleased that we get the gist of it. So we cannot put down our hands. Thank you. So if we go back to the board now, right? That story we were considering. Let me look for it again. Yeah. So ability to log in, right? Now that I'm confident that we know it, right, as a registered user. So that was what we said, because it's only the registered user that can log in, isn't it? As a registered user, I want to log in with my username and password so that I can gain access into the system. Now, you've done that. This is what you should do. So some people, they will make this bold, the as a, okay, and the I want to, please pay attention so that, okay, some people will do that, or some people will do this. They will make it caps. In fact, let me, what's the easier way to do it? Let me just give one line or two as register. So I've seen this done. I've seen both being used, but I prefer using most people do what I did for the first one. You get what I mean? So I'm just gonna delete that one actually. So most people do this. So that's this bit done. That's our user story. You just embolden this as I want to, so that's okay. I did that on the screen, on the PowerPoint, but because it's in white, you might not really notice. And then you see, so that's the user story. If you like, you can even say user story. It's up to you, really. I like it. If you like, you can do that. Some people can just leave it like that. That's fine. Okay. And then you come here, see acceptance criteria, and you click on there. And then we said scenario 1. What did I do? Scenario 1 was user successfully logs in, and then I put in brackets correct details. Okay, so I like to always highlight well, it's up to you. The highlighting really, or making it bold, is specifically for these bits as I want to, so that, and then the giving when then. Okay, so but I always like to highlight things I want to draw people's attention to. So given my hand's spinning. I am a registered user. When I enter my surname, in fact, if I want to make this thing more complicated, I can say not complicated. I mean, if I want to put more steps, given I am a registered user and I am on the landing page, right? When I enter my surname and I enter my password and I click on the submit button, then I am directed to my profile page. Okay, so again, we'll come here, given when this is the part I actually hate. Like, you have to now go back. That's that. Okay, so that's that on there. Now, if you remember, I had some addition. Okay, no, I had another scenario actually. Let's actually do this so it's all together. That's the first scenario. Because some people have OCD like me for typing things like this, and I want to see it in a certain order. Okay, so the next one is scenario 2 is for where the user fails to log in brackets, incorrect details. Okay. Okay. Now, so I'm going to just copy, because there's no point to suffer and punish yourself in life. Just put it there. So that's kind of the same. Given I'm a registered user and I'm on the landing page, when I enter incorrect login details, so I'm going to take that out. When I enter incorrect login details and I click on the submit button, then my login attempts will be unsuccessful and an error message will be displayed. Okay, attempts. Okay, so that one should be good. Okay, so remember we said we had additional information because what does incorrect detail mean? So I can say incorrect detail. So this is your opportunity to put stuff on here that might be ambiguous or that need further explanation. Could be incorrect username and or incorrect password, the error message. So you can also specify message would be as follows: login details incorrect, please review and resubmit. Done. Okay, all this will be, you don't have to be in both. Okay, right. After writing all this, you can now say this is complete. Okay, so let's see if I can see the yeah, okay, so that's it. So you've written your user story, you've put your scenario. Sometimes you may have only one scenario, sometimes you might have a few, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 even, or 7, as I had the other day. Yeah, additional information like that, and that's it. Okay, see this bit here, right? Sometimes somebody might put, so if I say at, so these are the people that are on this group. This is an old group that I'm just using to show you guys, right? So I can tag anybody. If I say at somebody, and I type something there, if I save it, it's going to receive an email. Okay, that's how it is. It's connected to your email, because when you are when they ask you for your details to kind of put you on this, to give you access to Azure, you provide your email address. So it's all linked in. So if I wanted to communicate with Adiola, for example, I'll just put at something. So if I had a question relating to the story, I can put it there. But in terms of the user story itself, this is it complete. Okay, so you come here and just save and close. So that's straightforward enough. Okay, so that's that here. Now, when you've finished working on it, let's view it as a board now, so that I can show you how to move it. Different ways to move it, actually. So you can no, I'm not changing parent. I'm not no, moving to team project. No, I'll show you the one that I usually do. That's like straightforward. So if you go to the board, right? So that's the moving across. Okay, so you see how it's showing. So before I was viewing as backlog, now we're viewing it as a board. But you see, we can't see it because it's all under that epic of landing page, right? So come here and drill down to what you want to see. We want the backlog items. Okay, forget all these ones, right? Because these are old stories that were created ages ago. Okay, so you come here, that's our story here. Now, the Scrum Master would have created different columns. So this one is new, ready for BA, in business analysis. I think this is doing and done, something like that. And then this is approved. Now, this one, we finished working on it, isn't it? So it's actually done. Done. Okay, let me move all these things here. Okay, let me move everything away from here. Okay, so if I can put in as new, right? Maybe if I just said ability to log on. So all those other ones that I've not created another one. If I just created it as an empty case to put stuff inside, I can just put it in new, or even ready for BA, whatever. These two, I don't even see the need for having these two. I think it's just repetitive. But anyway, if you're still working on it, you can put it in doing, and when it's completely done, you put it here. So this means that you're now ready to go and speak to your PO about it. So when you're speaking to your PO and you want to show your PO your board, you know, all your stories should be here or as a BA done, you know. So when you discuss with the PO and you've said, and the PO says, okay, yeah, that's fine, you then move it to approved. So let's say that again. We are coming to the end, so I'll be quick. When you're speaking to your PO, your storage should already be done. That means you've put everything you need to put in. If there are wireframes, you've attached the wireframes. Okay, let me show you some. Okay, I'll show you where to put all that. If there are documents, you've attached the documents. If there are process maps, you've attached the process maps. Everything is done. You put it here. You have your conversation with the product owner, and they say it's fine, it's perfect. You've captured everything, and then you move it to approved. So when you're going for sprint planning, your stories should actually be in approved. Now, in Blue Sky, I don't remember us doing sprint refinement meeting. However, where I work, right, it will probably be doing. Then when you have done the sprint, when you have discussed with the PO, you probably do it in done or something, and then yeah, approved. But yeah, when you are getting to time for your sprint planning, your stories should already be in approved. And then when it's time for your sprint planning, this is what you will do. The Scrum Master will now say, I'm just telling you, you know, one of the Scrum ceremonies is your sprint planning. I'm sure your mentors will tell you the same thing, but just so that you're aware, and because we're talking about it here, and when it's time for sprint planning, they will now click on the story to say, okay, please, can you talk us through this story? I'll be like, yeah, thank you. And then you read that. As a registered user, you actually read it too. Every time I read it, if I'm being honest, I'm like, oh, everybody can see you, but you have to read it, you know. So you want to make sure that everybody has a shared understanding. So as a registered user, I want to log in with my username and password so that I can gain access into the system. So I say the first scenario is for when the user is able to successfully log in with the correct details. Given I'm a registered user and I am on the landing page, when I enter my surname and I enter my password and I click on the submit button, then I'm directed to my profile page. Scenario 2 is when the user puts in incorrect details and they're not able to log in.
Now connected to desktop MP5 TQ4M.
Oh, goodness gracious me. Scenario 2 is for when the user is unable to log in because they've put in incorrect details. Then I will now read it. Given I'm a registered user and I'm on the landing page, when I enter my incorrect login details, when I enter incorrect, not my incorrect. When I enter incorrect login details and I click on the submit button, then my login attempt will be unsuccessful and an error message will be displayed. So at this point, and I say, okay, so the additional information, I read all that, and then I'll say, any questions, guys? Any questions? So I'll wait, and then they'll start firing you with questions. But if you've done a good job, I mean, even if they ask you a question, it doesn't mean that you haven't done a good job, right? But it'll be an opportunity to ask. Sometimes they might say, oh, why don't you put this one here? Or it flows better like this, or maybe we need one more scenario, you know, so when they're not happy with it, they will now estimate the story. From that point on, you can cross your arms, or you're fine. You're fine because you've already completed everything, and it's now for the QAs and the developers to, you know, figure out their estimation. Now, you know, I talked about process maps and wireframes. Can you see at the top right corner where my cursor is? You see where it says attachments? There's one saying links, right? What's that? History. Okay, that's version history. Anyway, so if you click on attachments, so you can now add attachments, okay? But I'm not going to add attachment because I don't have anything to add here. But I'm just showing you where you can put documents. So you shouldn't go and be putting big documents. Oh, I can't go back, can I? Okay. So you don't want to be putting big documents because some people will come and put all their big documents, like maybe like if you're putting documents like terms and conditions that you want the developers to, you shouldn't carry a Word document and copy and paste it all here. Do you get? You should save it properly, come here and attach it. Okay, so that's about that one. Okay, so what else is there about this the board? This is where they estimate. But so yeah. But don't bother about that one. As in, yeah. So the Scrum Master will talk you through all that when it's time for that. But the most important thing to know is just how to create your stories. So how do we view it? Oh, voila. So you see, all these are the all these are the old stories, and this is that one that we just did. I think you're able to move this thing to the top, if I remember correctly. Right? No. Okay, you can't do it. I'm confusing this with Jira that I use at work. You can just drag it to the top if you want it. This is a good opportunity to show you how. So when you speak with the PO, so let's say like now you have 13 stories, and then I say, oh, I want ability to log in to be first, and then footer design second, and all that. You can go and arrange it yourself, because they're going to rely on you to say, because they didn't go to that meeting with you, right? So they rely on your judgment, but it's not really your judgment. It's what the PO has told you, that ability to log in will be the first one, and then maybe contact us, that will be the second one. This one. So you would arrange it in that order, in the order of priority. So when you're going to your sprint planning, you're prepared. When they're like, so BAs, what stories are you prioritizing? Because you have so many stories on the board. Maybe this one is, maybe they're all here like this, they're all done even. What stories are we prioritizing? You just be like, okay, I've already put them in the right order. So in that order, this one. So you now say ticket 7985, 7980, So as far as BA work is done, okay, let me even just show you this board. You see how it goes far? Why is it in there? Okay, So you see how it's saying approved, committed. So let's say we've done the sprints and the committee to the sprints. When the developers want to do their work, they'll put it in dev. You see that when they're done, they'll say dev done. Okay, QAs, time for your work. QAs will come, that's the testers. We put it in QA, and when they're done with their work, they move it to QA done. Okay, this is now the caveat. Remember when I said BAs don't do testing, right? In Blue Sky, you will actually do UAT. Okay, but UAT is straightforward. It's just like, if they say they created something, that if you, let me now show you. I think this will make sense now. So when you're doing your UAT, you're going to follow. You remember I said that the acceptance criteria is what the testers use. So you are not going to be doing it like testers, writing codes and all those things. You're just going to be following it. So when they say, given I'm a registered user, and I'm on the landing page, you go to the landing page, www. I'm on the landing page. When I enter my surname, you enter your surname, looking for Lami, and I enter my password. Put your password. Sorry, it was username, isn't it? Not surname. Or what am I writing here? It's supposed to be username, not surname. Okay. Right. So you put all that. So you're just going step by step. So when I enter my username, enter your username, and enter my password, you enter your password, click on submit button. You're on that website, you're just following the instruction. You click on submit button. If you're not redirected to the profile page, what happens? You're going to feel that test has failed, isn't it? And you're going to draw it to the attention of the development team. Okay, so yeah, that's how testers do their work. But for us, you're not going to be writing codes and all those things. You're just following what they said will happen. So this is what you expect to see. So if you come here and you put in incorrect details and you were able to log in, that is a bug, isn't it? Because you're supposed to be seeing an error message. Or if you're not able to log in and you don't see an error message, that again is a bug. We're like, where's the error message to tell me that, it was an error? Okay, I believe we have now come to the end. After 1 hour extra, we have come to the end of. So it was actually backlog population and navigating the Azure board. So this is how it looks like, and this is where you'll be doing your work. So you probably will document it somewhere, but you will always transfer everything here. So depending on how you want to view it, if you want to view just the features, that's what you see. If you want to view the epics, There's only one epic here because the other stories, they don't even have an epic, which is bad practice. So please beware of that kind of behavior. The only ones that are good are the ones that we've just done today. So that's the epic there. And if you want to see if you want to drill down, you can see the features, you can see all right. I believe we have now come to the end of this session, and I will leave the remaining 5 minutes for, it's not even remaining 5 minutes, this is minus something now. But yeah, we've got 5 minutes for any questions that we might have. So please feel free to. Ozzy, is that a new, so we have Ozzy, Oluwaseun, and Adeke, right? I don't know. And and Oladimeji. I tried. Okay. So Ozzy, Oluwaseun, Adeke, and Oladimeji, please. Okay, go for it. Ozzy first.
Okay, yeah, it's actually not a question. I just wanted to confirm if you're going to drop
Ozzy first. Ozzy first.
Sorry, Ozzy first. Yeah.
Sorry.
So I've just called the order. So Ozzy first, Oluwaseun, Adeke, Oladimeji, and T. And that's us. Okay.
Okay. Just a quick one.
Yeah.
So I would take it that our Azure is not project ready, because when you go there, what your messages you get is no subscription. You do not have Azure subscription in the Blue Sky.
I will assume that you haven't yet been added, because what will happen is that when your Scrum Masters too, they're also being trained.
Okay.
Just how you are being trained.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they finish it, they will really be on top of all these things, right? But they need someone to tell them, to show them what to do. So when they are ready, they will now reach out to you, say, send me your email address. That's how they get you added to the board. Yeah. Yeah.
Then second question, just the final one. Sorry about that.
No.
You know the section about the additional information, yeah?
Yep.
Is it advisable to add in, like, if you want to add about like acceptance of card, PayPal, or something like that, if need be, can you put in on there?
Yeah, everything else that you feel will help the developers. Okay. Sometimes, so you're already talking of payments, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming that if you're writing a story for payments, you would have already said scenario 1, PayPal. Maybe scenario 2 is in fact, if you're doing, you can't even do scenario in different payment types, because the payment stories are big stories.
Yeah. Okay.
So they will stand on their own. So you will have maybe a story for payment by Klarna, a story for payment with PayPal, a story for payment with credit card or debit card, So
in each scenarios, it presents it in scenarios, is it?
No. That's why I'm saying that it wouldn't even be in scenarios, because a payment story is like maybe even an epic or a feature. Do you get what I mean? Because there are different payment types. Do you get what I mean now? So you see how you can easily identify whether it's going to be a feature or an epic or a story, because there are different payment types. So you might say payment might be a feature.
Okay.
You understand? Maybe the epic will be access to course. Maybe if it's a course page or something and you need to pay to access it. So maybe your epic will be access to course. And maybe to access the course, maybe registration will be one of the features. Do you get? Maybe payment will be another feature. Then under payment, we now have payment by Klarna, payment by card, payment by PayPal, payment. Do you get? So yeah. Okay. Okay. Oluwaseun, please.
Sorry, it's Oluwasegun.
Oh,
it's actually not a question.
Wait, Oluwasegun. Wait, I am a business. Wait. You did not spell it well.
There's Oluwaseun here and Oluwaseun.
So I'm reading it according to the people that I'm seeing here. So on my list here, right, I've got Oluwaseun Sani. And then Adeke Oluwasegun will be next.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not a question. I'm just confirming this recording is going to be shared on the group chat.
Wumi is the one that will be able to answer that question. I think you can access the recording.
If Shegun can pay me, I'll do it this night.
Because if you want to stress Wumi is tired.
Please, because we need to go back to these videos as well. And I mean,
okay, when she told you that she didn't want to record it, you all kept quiet. I just pitied your ministry. That's fine. I'll share it.
Please,
thank you,
to receive the recordings, please.
For being very considerate.
Please, nobody should ask for this recording on the main winter platform.
Okay.
Or you don't even need to ask. I'll drop it on your guild.
On the BA guild.
All right, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
All right, thank you.
On behalf of the BAs, I say thank you to Wumi. Okay, so who's next? Oluwa Sheung.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I have two questions actually.
Okay.
Number one is about the movement of the job that is done, maybe the epic or the feature or the user story. Now, is there a way there can be automation on it such that you don't have to move it manually? Does the system allow?
No, except you want to write the story for Azure. No.
Okay.
I'm laughing, no, but seriously, no. It is something that's manual. So whatever system you're using, because you know what? It's not really up to the system, because the system wouldn't know when you've completed any work on the story. Okay, so so that's why wherever, no matter, even though we are in the IT profession, right? IT space, isn't it? It's funny, but this one automation cannot do, because you have to go in, put whatever. So imagine, look at this thing now. There's no way of telling whether there's anything in it, right? The landing page. Okay, so you have to go in, and do what needs to be. So like I've got the feature, but the backlog item. In fact, let me even view it as backlog. Okay, so there's no way of telling if it's empty.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's only when I click in and go in and I'm like, right, okay, I have finished working on it and I can now move it to done. Okay, so there's no automation. Yeah.
Okay. And then secondly, I just want to know if all of this is a replacement for algorithm, because I know before now, for developers to write their programs, some algorithms have to be, they have to write out algorithms on how to go about it. So
it's not a replacement. Everything we're doing here is strictly for business analysts. The if you go now to the developers in guild or the QA guild, you see all their algorithms and their codes and all their things that make my eye hurt. Those kind of things. Yeah. So you see all those things there. No, it's not a replacement. This is just a way to capture requirements and document it,
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. Oluwasegun, I thought you had asked a question before. Adeke Oluwasegun, did you ask a question before or?
Sorry, can you come again?
Did you have a question or was that your hand is still up?
Oh, sorry, no, that's it.
An old one. Okay, that's fine. So T and Olu, yeah. Okay, T.
Thank you. I was just going to ask, so as a BA, assuming you're doing the UAT and you did it and you realized that there's been an error or a bug. So how do you let is it the tester you let, who would you report?
So what you would do is you come here, you see how, do you remember I showed, let me go back there. So remember when, so you can see you can see the board, right? Okay. So remember when you come to feature and you hover on it, can you see what's happening here?
Yeah.
Docked backlog item and bug. So you can click on the bug, right? And create a bug. So you can title it. So you title it based on the work you were testing. So if you were testing ability to log in, you then say, you can just put comments. It doesn't even need to. You can just put comments somewhere here, and say, failed, blah 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 blah. Save and close. Okay, and then that's it. And then that's it. So when you raise a bug, I'm trying to see. Okay, so usually you would have daily stand-ups, right? So these are meetings every day. So in my place of work, we have them every 10 o'clock, every day, 10 o'clock, Monday to Friday, 10 o'clock. If you were trying to get me at 10 o'clock, you won't get me because I'll be at my daily stand up 10 o'clock. So it's usually like 15 minutes for everybody to say what they've done, you know, what you did yesterday. If you had any issues, what you plan to do today. It's a way of making sure there's transparency and everybody is actually working, you know, just monitor it. So at that stand-up, you would then be saying, oh, I raised a bug, you know. So they'll say, oh, what's the ticket number, blah, 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 blah. And then the developer, developers can go in and look at it, okay?
Right, thank you.
No worries. Olu first and then Fumi.
Yeah, thank you for everything you have said. My question is around the best way to identify an epic, because in your explanation, you mentioned that an epic is like, you said a page, and then whatever you see on the page is the features. And then you have to then go further deep into those features for you to create the user story.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so it depends on the project, right? There's no rule. So do you know, depending on how big the project is, so for some projects, that landing page will be an epic. For some projects, the landing page is a feature because it's just part of one big, I don't know if you get what I mean. Like, so it depends on, for example, the person that wants to boil rice, right? If your project is to boil white rice, plain white rice with salt, and the person that wants to make the popular jollof rice, you can see that those two projects are different. One is more complicated, isn't it, than the other one. So the requirements for the white rice with salt, it's just salt, white rice, and then water, right? And whatever else. And then the other one has all the different things. So whereas the person that is making white rice will be saying their epic is you say, I don't know what I'll say now. Boil, as in boil water. You understand? Boil water, wash rice. That might even be an epic for them. Boil water might be an epic. Wash rice is an epic. But for the person making jollof rice, it might be something bigger. I don't know if you get what I mean. So it depends. So what if you look at another project? What might be a feature on your project? Might be an epic, another person's project. It all depends on how much work can you do. You just need to be able to break it down to a small enough size to be completed during the sprint. So that's a user story. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. No worries. Fumi. Nadiola again. Fumi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for that presentation. It's very, very wonderful. I have two questions.
Okay.
About the epic. I'm guessing now what makes a story epic is the requirement. What is needed.
Always, yeah.
Oh, okay. Fine. For jollof rice now, if they want a day, if they want everything they want in it, will make it epic.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that means, so if there's so many different, so making jollof rice can be the, okay, let me give you an example. So with jollof rice now, right? Jollof rice can be the project. But then we know that to make jollof rice, let me just, please, people that cook, professional chefs, don't judge me. I'm making an example. So for jollof rice, the jollof rice might be the epic. Cooked jollof rice might be the epic, right? Now we know that some people will make the sauce separate and then boil the rice or maybe wash it in hot water, whatever, before they combine everything, right? Okay, so jollof rice is the epic. The feature can be cooked sauce and maybe parboiled rice. Do you understand? And then that cooked sauce, you cannot break it down to chop onion or whatever, fry whatever, blah blah blah, add seasoning, blah blah blah, taste, blah. And then this one, boil water, and boil water in rice. Do you know what I mean? As in, so you can make it what you want it to be, just as long as you are. Oh my God, I'm beginning to. As long as you are breaking it down, enough to be small. as long as you're breaking English language, as long as you're breaking it down to a small enough size that can be completed within a sprint.
Okay.
All right.
The second one is what happens if the daily stand-up is stretching beyond 15 minutes? What happens?
And that's the responsibility of the Scrum Master to make sure because sometimes it stretches. Because if there was a big issue yesterday that we need to deal with, of course we have to talk about it, So sometimes it doesn't concern everybody in the team. So people will say, oh, can we take this outside? Can I give you a separate call and we discuss it? Can we take it? Someone will say to the parking lots or something like that, So yeah, but that's the responsibility of the Scrum Master.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. So Adiola, I think that you're the last person. Olu, you have up. I'm assuming that it's an old one. And Fumi as well. Adiola.
Hi, Tutor. Thank you.
Hiya.
Yeah, when you were making that example, I remembered a question I wanted to ask. I'm not quite sure how to put it, but you were saying that for somebody who wants to cook white rice, it's a different requirement for somebody who wants to cook jollof rice. It's a different requirement for someone who wants to cook ofada rice. Don't mind me. It's a different requirement for somebody who wants to cook basmati fried rice,
Yeah.
So now, what is the acceptable criteria?
Okay. So, like I said, you have to consider the steps in it. Okay. So, for example, if you say you want to cook, which one will I use now? Let me use. No. Do you know if I can cook ofada rice? Let me use white rice. Let me use the simplest one because you want to do a acceptable criteria for something that will not leave it tomorrow. So, white rice with salt. So given when then, right? Okay, let's do it for white rice. Given I am a chef, right? Or maybe
as a foodie.
No, not. We've already written the story. We've already discussed the story for rice. So as a maybe as a foodie, I want to make cook white rice so that I can have my lunch, something like that, right? So we're talking. You asked about acceptance criteria.
Yeah.
So acceptance criteria given I have. So I can't even say anything. Given I have purchased all my relevant ingredients. When I boil my water and I introduce the rice into the water. You can say and I wash my rice.
Oh, you can say given I have gas.
And I maybe boil my water in rice. When I put in some salt and leave it for 20 minutes, then the rice should be soft enough for eating. I've just made that up, right? But what I'm trying to say is that you want to think about the processes step by step. So if I click on this button, the system should respond this way. If I don't click on it, it should not do this. If I put the correct details, this should happen. You understand? So that's it.
Okay, thank you. The second question is for Aziz and to be. This happens when you are having a tete-a-tete with your PO, right?
Yes. So,
and it's
the one that said you like grammar. Yes, so you have a tete-a-tete with your PO. So, Aziz and to be, right? So that will apply to when you have an existing system an existing process.
Yeah.
So you now want to say, what is the current process? So you have to document it. You might have to even do a process map. And then after you document everything, so how does this system work? You say, oh, when we clock in, the system does this, then we enter in the names, the details of this, then it is stored somewhere. When we retrieve the this, and verify that and match it up with this, we can make payments.
Okay.
You now see this, so you now say, oh, you're duplicating. Why are you doing this one twice? You now identify gaps in the process. So that's where you have gap analysis. So you have your assist and your to be.
Yeah.
In the
So
middle of it is the gap
a follow-up question. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. In the case where there's no documentation.
Yeah.
What happens? What do you do?
You mean documentation of the current system?
Yes.
But you do know you are making up a scenario because do you have a scenario like this now? But yeah, I mean, if there's no that it will be hard that there's no documentation in an organization, right? But if that's the case, you will have to get the documentation yourself.
Because I'm asking this thing because of the money I'll be charging these companies. Because you can't bring it on a project and say it's an existing one, there's no documentation. I'm going to treat it as a fresh project. We would no.
Andrea is coming with the guns blazing. Don't try me.
Would that be right to speak with the PO to say, come, there's no documentation?
You can highlight it, but you have to get on with your work. So I'll give you an example. So years ago, when I was working in a change department, I wasn't a BA then, but I was working in like a change department. So I was seconded to go and observe processes, right? So you will sit down by the side of the person using it. You say, why did you press that thing? You say this one, you write it. Okay, so when you press it, what happens? Okay, you write it. What if I did? Don't touch that button. Don't touch that button. If I tell you so you will you will document it.
Okay.
There will be users, so you will have to, interact more, engage with the end users. Yeah.
Thank you, tutor.
You are very welcome. So I believe 11:15, only 1 hour 15 minutes after we are finally done with this session. Well, I want to say thank you, everyone. It's been engaging. Yeah, I know I was saying question, but it's actually a good thing that you're having